let's talk about traumas, guys. So, a lot of the traumas that we're healing from as adults have stemmed from our childhood. And what I have found is that a lot of these traumas that we've experienced are nothing new. These are a lot of these traumas are actually generational traumas, or as we call curses, that a lot of us are here to become aware of, to finally break that curse, to finally shift the way that we've been raised and taught growing up, right? And so generational traumas are traumas that have been passed down from generations to generations, and these are toxic behaviors, toxic ways of raising children. This is not to blame or shame anyone, guys. This is why it's so important to bring awareness, because a lot of this is just pain. A lot of this is just fear that needs to be recognized, heard, and loved, and again, healed, and given a safe space to express and release. But we hold on to these things because, again, a lot of us are not aware of these traumas and how they have been legit in the family for a long time. And so the way our great-grandparents were raised is the way they raised their children, which is our grandparents, and the way they raise their children, which is our parents. And then now for a lot of us that have children, maybe passing this on, these toxic ways of these toxic behaviors onto our children, and yada yada yada, right? And so guys, I want to let you know, first of all, before we even start, this is not a race thing. So if that's where your head goes with this whole video, then you have completely missed the point. But I'm just using this as examples, right? Because I see beyond race. I'm not attached to race at all. We're much, much more than that. But then again, we're no thing. But anyway, before I go into that. So, I've come to find that as a society, which is you, which is me, you know what I'm saying? We actually perpetuate these toxic, traumatic, generational behaviors as a society, as a collective, right? Through the internet. And what do I mean by that, right? So I've come across many videos. Again, this is not a race thing, but in the Latino culture, right? Or, in every culture. This isn't a race thing, because there's toxic behaviors in every culture, in every person, and it's like, again, but anyway, I just feel like I have to continuously say this, but I came across a couple videos, where, and I'm all about dark humor, guys, but I've come across a couple videos where, people make videos over like the Latino culture, how like pretty much abusive they are, but it's like we make it funny. Right? But so anyway, for an example, I saw this one video about this girl that was getting her hair done by her mom, and I don't remember the title, guys. I don't remember word for word. Okay, so just saying, but it said like the way Latina moms do their girls' hair, I don't know, their daughter's hair, and so she was doing her hair. And, she was pulling her hair because obviously, for those that have had braids and stuff know how it can be painful. And so, as this little girl is screaming, like, well, she's not screaming, but she's like, ow, like, she's complaining because it hurts, right? Her mother is like hitting her with a brush, and she's like cussing her, calling her stupid, like just, calling her all kinds of really fucked up names while she's doing her hair, and she's complaining because it hurts. And so like, there was like, people were like laughing. It was supposed to be funny pretty much, like relatable, but like funny. But guys, like, do you see how that's not okay? That is legit abuse. That's not okay. Like, cussing at a child, calling her stupid because she's in pain, that's not okay. That's not even funny. You know what I'm saying? That causes a lot of, like, you can only imagine, that's emotional abuse. And then I saw another one where it was like, it was a mom teaching her son, like, or I guess like they were doing homework or something, and like she had a belt in her hand, and like the title says something like that, like learning with your mom, with the Latina mom, or doing homework with the Latina mom. I don't even know, but it was something like that. And so like she had the belt in her hand, so, and the child was legit scared. The child was crying because, like, I'm sure every time, I didn't see the whole video, or I don't remember much, but like I think every time he got it wrong or something, she was like yelling at him and like threatening to hit him. Guys, again, that is not okay, but again, it was made to be funny. You know what I'm saying? It was made to be like, ha, yeah, that happened to me, or ha, wow, that's like, guys, no. Like, that's not okay. This is legit emotional abuse. This is abuse. This doesn't mean like this mother is a terrible mother. Like, no. But you see how we can perpetuate and feed into these energies, into these traumas to continue, because that's legit feeding. That's giving your energy to these behaviors like that. That's you consenting that this is normal, that this is okay, and that is not okay. That is not normal to do. Maybe it's become normal to where it's desensitized, guys. But can you imagine how that could affect a child's learning capabilities growing up, or just like that fear of, like, you know what I'm saying, that pressure? Can you imagine? You know, and just imagine that for a second, guys. And even in your own life, if you were raised like this, and again, this happens across like, this happens a lot. It doesn't matter about your skin or anything. I'm just saying, like, that's what it said. And so, guys, this affects a child growing up in so many ways. Either A, they completely shut off and they like give up on everything. Like, they don't end up achieving their goals and dreams because, like, or, you know, because they're always constantly in fear. You know what I'm saying? It's like an underlying fear in the subconscious mind. Because again, guys, these things get programmed into you, and they could be so subtle that you don't even realize this is something you are actually still acting on or reacting on these wounds. And so so either that, or maybe you may be that child that grows up to reach all your goals and dreams, but you still feel empty because you're hard on yourself. You feel like, you get me, because growing up, whenever your mother like did that to you or whatever, you put it in your mind that you always had to go always overdo everything in order to amount to anything, so then that they could, you know what I'm saying? Like, again, it's just so deep and it can go in so many ways. But you're gonna grow up and you may feel completely empty. You may always feel completely unsatisfied. It may not matter how much money you have or how many goals and dreams you reach. At the end of the day, you might always feel like you're always chasing something, like you're always running away, like you're always like having to prove something or overachieve something, or, you know, in so many ways. And this actually blocks a lot of this also creates a lot of blockages in your body. If you're aware of chakras or not, this is just like energy centers. I have another video about that when it comes to sexual abuse. But like, for an example, your throat chakra, this may affect your voice of speaking up. Because if every time you spoke up when you were in pain or expressing your emotions and you were shut down and you were like ridiculed or called stupid or for feeling and stuff, that affected you, or that may have affected you, or whatever, to where you don't speak up anymore when you feel something. Or maybe you always explode. You always feel like you're having to defend yourself. So it's always explosive when you speak up, because the child in you is still fighting for that, for that peace. You get me, guys? And so I'm gonna make more videos on like solutions and how we can move on from these generational curses and stuff. But this is the first step, is becoming aware. And as a society, it's important that we all begin to like say, this is not okay. You know what I'm saying? That's not all right. That's not how you teach a child. And you gotta think about it, guys. Like, the food that children are eating nowadays, the air that we're breathing, the water that we're drinking, that all affects a child's way of learning. That affects their neurological system, their nervous system, their brain. Guys, the metals that they're eating, the cavities in their mouths, like all of that affects the way they learn. Especially in the educational system is a whole nother issue that I'm not even going to go deep into, but you can only imagine when they're only being taught from the left brain. Children are the most creative beings. They're not going to learn. Some children are not going to learn as fast. It doesn't mean they're stupid. It doesn't mean they're dumb. It doesn't mean that, you know, this could be freaking geniuses. It's just that the way they're being taught is not the way that they learn. And so, you know, but parents don't really know that, or don't, you know, aren't aware of how that affects a child's. And so they get mad when a child doesn't learn at their speed or doesn't necessarily get it, even with repetition. Some children need images. Some children need you to act it out. Some children need you to, you know, sing some, you know, there's just, anyway, guys, that's a whole other topic. But We need to keep in mind all these different factors when it comes to raising children. And this is not to shame any parent or to blame any parent. No, because again, a lot of this is generational, guys. A lot of this anger, a lot of this pain, a lot of this fear is generational, and it gets passed down until we, the ones that are finally see what's truly going on, awaken and finally do something to shift this within our own homes. That's where it starts, and then it bleeds out into the entire collective, guys. But again, this is just to bring awareness to these behaviors that are not okay. When parents just immediately react out of anger and hit children, you know what I'm saying, and yell at them and call them stupid and call them names and just, you know what I'm saying, that's not okay. I'm not saying that that's not ever okay, because sometimes, you know what I'm saying, I mean, but things like that, like doing doing their hair and then complaining about the pain, or you know, or them not being able to get their homework right away, or you know what I'm saying, or a simple mistake like dropping milk on the floor, or you get me, or things like that, like that's not okay. Parents can be the biggest bullies to their children, I'm telling you. And again, guys, there's a lot of like things that they're unconscious of. They don't see how their behaviors truly affected their children. They don't see how in the long run how this actually affects how it affected them, to the point where they're numb to what they're doing. They just act on impulse. They act on what they have known, what they've only known their whole life, what they only, you get me, understand, you know. They think they're doing the right thing, or what, just, you know what I'm saying. But again, these behaviors affect a child's upbringing. It affects the child in so many ways when they get, you know, called these vulgar words, and they, you know what I'm saying, a lot of them hide these emotions, again, because they get ridiculed for feeling. Both boys and girls, especially boys, you know, but I see it even with girls, you know. And so again, guys, this is just to bring awareness to these behaviors that are not okay. And it's time that we stop laughing at them and stop relating to them, to the point where we're like, you know what, I don't relate to that. I don't relate to that anymore. At least whenever we have children, or if you have children, you know, it's never too late to heal, you know, yourself, you know. And of course, we have to heal ourselves first before we even want to heal anything bigger than us. But still, or more, you know what I mean. But yeah, guys, so this is a big topic. This is huge. And again, we are the change. It starts with you. It starts with me. You know, so again, the way we treat our children, the children of the future. And not only that, but their spirits as well, guys. And so together we can break these curses. The moment we stop laughing at these things, the moment we start to see the fucked up part of the fucked up ways of these things, but not to be like, again, this is a horrible mother, this is a horrible father. No, it's just the fact that no one's been aware enough to shift shit. But here we are, you know, there's no excuses anymore. If you're hearing this video, there's no more excuses. But you can take accountability and responsibility without the guilt and regret and shame and all of that. Okay, guys, also when, you know, children say, like, children, again, I could go on this forever, but for now I'm only going to keep it short when it comes to the more physical, verbal abuse, because this goes even deeper with many things, you know, with, you know, telling a child to shut the fuck up when they're just trying to express themselves, you know what I'm saying, or, you know, not paying attention to the child, you know what I'm saying. I mean, again, there's just so many things, guys, that can affect a child, and that have probably affected you in some way, shape, or form. And it's time again to bring awareness to all those things that are just in the subconscious mind, unconscious mind, and push them to the forefront to be released, to be seen, heard, loved, so that we can, not to become these perfect, like but to become balanced. You know what I'm saying? Balanced individuals. Yes, we're going to make mistakes again, but with awareness, there comes change, guys. And children are the most precious things to this world. So it's about time we start to truly see how our behaviors and choices and the way we communicate with children affect them in the long run, so that they don't have to heal from the things we've had to heal from, or at least them, they can have a guide. Like we might have not had a guide, or a lot of us really didn't, guys. So much love.